Why Mojo Physio? Well, that's a very interesting story because names have driven me nuts over my career. I've probably had 10 different names in 28 years. And so part of my insecurity with going from an industry in the trucking world that I knew in and out to something I have no idea about, those insecurities kind of are systemic in many aspects. I'm a very dangerously knowledgeable business guy, but I'm not a business guy. I mean, I can honestly say that. I know enough to get by and do things right, but I tend to lean on other people who I think know more than me, right? I think that's a good premise in any facet of life, to surround yourself with people that know more than you. But I was passive in a sense. Like, I just trusted everybody and what they said. And names were always a nightmare to me because you get one school of thought. Everybody has a different opinion on names, first of all. I was very much struggling. I was trying to grow the business. I didn't know how to brand stuff. My very good client / friend told me, I got to introduce you to this guy. He's in Palm Springs. He's going to dial in all your stuff. So I talked to this guy. He retired as a big muckety muck with UPS. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the one who created the UPS stores when he was an executive with UPS. So he's a very knowledgeable guy. Drive to Palm Springs. I spent a day with him, spent a lot of money for that day, kind of like a stern storming session. And he basically crushed my whole life, my business. Your website sucks, your name sucks, this sucks, that sucks. But because I trust him and I trust my friend, I'm going with it. He goes, we need to come up with this name and this name and that name. I didn't like the name he came up with. He named it Pain Medics. Didn't like it. I wanted a name surrounding Mojo. I love Mojo because there's a lot of connotations you can have fun with. Get your mojo back. I've lost my mojo. And for me, Mojo stood for mobility and joints. So it really tied into what I do. Yes, I have to explain that, but I didn't care. I just thought Mojo was cool. I wanted a name like Mojo Therapy Center, Mojo something. He goes, no, I hate it. And because I was insecure and I was passive, I'm like, fine, we'll go your way and go with Pain Medics. And then the idiot puts a hyphen in between pain and medics. I don't know the internet. I don't know anything. One of my clients, who is a web developer, internet guru, goes, what the hell did you put a hyphen in there for? That Google doesn't recognize hyphens in search engines. I go, what? I just paid this guy a boatload of money and he doesn't even know that? That was the beginning. And then, so we were going to go get an investor. So we go after an investor as a client of mine who has been a client for a long time. He wanted to help me out. He mentioned it. So I go, hey, can we talk seriously about this? So the investor, this guy from Palm Springs, and I all met here in Scottsdale. And we were looking for 50 grand to grow the business. The investor said, I'm not interested for 50 grand. I'm only interested at 100 grand or more. And we were both like, what? Like, you want to give us more money? He goes, every business is undercapitalized. I don't want him to fail. So let's just do this right. And we're like, hell yeah. My all in with this guy in Palm Springs was supposed to be $25,000. He was going to develop a sales department, a sales funnel, all this stuff, and then step away. Once he knew I got a guy on the hook for $100,000, he changed his tune and all of a sudden wanted equity in the business, completely pissed me off, sent me off the rails, and I fired him. Why? How does this have anything to do with Mojo Physio? I was so pissed off at the name Pain Medics. The week that I was in this kind of flux with him and this turmoil, I have a client from Canada. And every person outside of the United States calls physical therapy physiotherapy. It's only physical therapy in the U.S. They're from Canada, and he was telling me how he saw his physio back home. And I'm in the mindset now of, I want Mojo. He said physio. I went, that sounds cool together. Mojo Physio. And I went, that's it. I'm done. And I've had that name, I don't know, 10 years now. And I've recently rebranded it. And I have another guy who's saying, you really should change the name. I'm like, I'm done. Mojo Physio is it. Everybody's got a different opinion on the name. I asked all my clients over a week, about 20 people, what do you think of this name? Oh, I don't like it. I like Mojo Physio. Or I don't like this. Everybody said Mojo Physio was memorable. And I go, I'm done. All I did was change the logo a little bit, rebranded it a little, and changed the tagline. But the journey to get to Mojo Physio was quite tumultuous in many ways, but absolutely worth it.